So as we know that rice is distinctive food of most of the parts of
Okay, so as I was
saying, so as I was saying that rice is staple food of most of the parts of the world. So because of this, it is also produced in excess and is produced in a large quantity. So in order to reduce the loss that is incurred from this production, we have to go for post-harvest management and value addition. So on this buffering of rice and exclusion of rice take so I'll just mention about what we learned in our very first class. So the first step is that basically we need the machine. Without a machine, we can't do anything here. So the first step is that the rice is poured into the machine. So we use brown rice because it is more nutritious compared to the rice. And then after that, after the heat is passed, the kernels are puffed. So basically, you can have the long strand or you can offer a short strand, depends on preferences. And the second one is the rice steam. So here also we use our rice and we boil it in the rice machine. After that, it undergoes intense heat, which makes it pop, and then the finished product is this is something we also do in our country, but how it's not the same. Like our puffed rice is a bit separated. So there's two methods. The first one is puffing, which is that we use sand. So we get hot and we put sand. And after the sand gets hot, we pour it in the rice burner and it pops. So this is the principle of applying water. And there is a lot of heat in rice. Of course, there is build-up of intense pressure and noise. So we also create big companies by use like machinery and steam. So they use the extrusion. Basically, it goes into chambers, hot chambers, and they pop the rice mechanically. These are like some of the ways that we can do it. As we see, the first one is made into balls. So we add jaggery because Indian people they are love sweet things. So we add jaggery, and then the second is we add it's like mixture. You can add tomatoes, potato, anything you want, and then we add the chili. And the third is like just consuming it like just like that plain. We can consume it like any as possible. Delicacy as possible. These are some of the companies that produce. As you can see, basmati is like very popular in India. So we do puffed rice also. And there are others. There is companies too that. So this one is just like experience sharing for the visit that we went to the fried rice noodles. So it was developed by Mr. Lin in 1950s. So it was its first like big hit in 1972 when the US they exported it to the US. So basically, its main aim is to have authentic noodles present in the 21st century. And what intrigued me a lot, like the most interesting part of that, they chose this particular place because it has the naturally present gushing power of the water. So it has the fragrance, it has the aroma, and so it keeps that authentic taste present. So these are some of the parts that we have visited. This was the one that we ate there. So it's just something that we should. And in India, like to be very transparent,
today my topic will be nano experiment. So these are the content of my topic. First, I'll be introducing some of the important points and various effects that we studied and the experiment that we performed, and also the nanotechnology that is being produced in India and some of the realities. So, what is nano? Nano, the word nano, it has been derived from the French word which says dwarf and small. So, nanotechnology, it simply means it is the manipulations of the atoms and molecules so that we will bring it into a nano scale. And the nanometer, it ranges from 10 to the power minus 9. So I have mentioned some of the key points, such as the concept. Nanotechnology concept was given by Dr. Richard Feynman. He is the father of the nanotechnology. And the term was coined by Dario Taniguchi. It's different. These are the various effects that we studied on that day. The first one is the lotus effect. Here it's super hydrophobic, that is not absorption of water that the lotus flower shows. And the second is the guidance effect. When the bee it goes somewhere, then it will come back to its original place because of the guidance effect. The third one is the photonic crystal effect. It can be seen in the butterfly. If you view in the butterfly in terms of the light, then we see different color. It is because of this photonic crystal effect. The fourth one is the Van der Waals first effect. That is this lizard or the gecko, they climb in the wall. It's because of this Van der Waals first effect. And the fifth one, it is the moth eye effect. The moth eye effect, it does not reflect the light and it is dark. Therefore, we have been applied in for the productions of TV such as CCTV cameras, etc. Now, these are some of the experiments that we conducted on that day that we performed. There are 7, so I will be talking one after the other. The first one is the smoke paper cup. Here we will be smoking the cup, and after that we use oil and water to see that whether it will absorb or it will show the hydrophobic effect, the lotus effect. So what we observe is that it shows the hydrophobic effect in terms of the water, whereas in terms of the oil it absorbs. The reason of observing is that the particles between the two is too close. That's why, and the particles of the oil is very small. That's why it can go inside. Yeah. And the second experiment is invisible spoon. If we heat the spoon and insert in the water, it will become the black carbon, it will become invisible. It is because of the total reflections of light. The third experiment is the floating sample. If you write something in that spoon and if you insert in the water, it will start floating. What is the reason behind the floating is because the ink that we use is lighter than the water. And the fourth one is the magic number. We write something in the paper and we zip it in a plastic, and after that insert in the water. Some of it cannot be seen. The reason is because of the total internal reflection. And the fifth experiment that we conducted on that day is the surface tension. What do we observe on that day? Observation is the fluid starts floating in the water, and when we spray it with the detergent, then it sinks. The reason is because of the surface tension, it floats, and when we spray the detergent, it breaks the water molecules. And when it breaks the water molecules, even the surface tension is being broken by it. The sixth one is the soya milk skin preparation. We will heat the aluminum foil until we get skin. And the seventh experiment that we did is about the bowl sample. We assembled this bowl and some of the nanotechnology products that has been manufactured in India is the nanotech waterproof shirt, the fabric, and all of these are waterproof. It's the lotus effect that I have discussed earlier. And We also produce some cosmetic, that is the nanotechnology serum that we produce, and it is quite famous in India. And also the kitchen appliances that we use, it's waterproof. It's a part of nanotechnology. And all the products that we can see here is produced by a nanotechnology factory of India. And this are the cameras.
Good morning to all of our visitors. My name is Aishma Burra from College of Computer Science under Central Agricultural University. And today I'll be talking about microwave drying of germinated rice. Introduction. First up, I put a picture of brown rice because brown rice is considerably more nutritious than white polished rice, as it still has the germ layer intact, which makes it more fibrous and helps in aiding weight loss and also controlling blood pressure. And moreover, germinated brown rice is better as the anti-nutrients like the phytates and oil, they get dissolved in water, which makes it more nutritious as the vitamins and minerals can get absorbed more quickly. So this is how we did our experiment. First of all, we cleaned the rice and then we soaked it for 24 hours in Ziploc bags as shown in the first picture. And after that, the next day at 3 p.m. we took the rice and then we measured some amount of it and added some water to it. Next we cleaned the rice and after that we put it in the microwave dryer. So our aim was to reduce the moisture content of the rice to 14%, which was achieved at the end. So this is the result of my group. At starting, the weight of our rice was 1,000 grams, but at the end, the moisture content was reduced. Hence, we got 821 grams as the final product. And as you can see, there is this graph indicating the process. Now moving on to, I've included some rice products from India. First of all, we have rice flakes, also known as chura in my language, and these are nothing but just flattened rice that we can have it with tea or we can make other dishes with it. Next to it, we have puffed rice, which is also known as muri, and as my friend Chelsea told, we can make many products like chalmuri and all with it. Moving on to the left-hand side, the corner side, the powdered thing is known as jampa, which is very famous in my state, and it is a breakfast that is usually taken with tea or other liquids like milk. And the last picture is that of alcohol known as chang or jar in my language. It is made out of rice and is traditionally served in a wooden container. Thank you.
Very good morning to my friends. Myself, Kavya Jain. I'm Central Agricultural University, India. So today the topic that I will be talking on is radio frequency blanching of rice bran. So the starting result, let's talk about why radio frequency, why we are using radio frequency, and what are the benefits with that. So compared to all other methods, that we conducted so many methods, especially for drying and oiling rice, as we have been discussing already. So radio frequency is like this waves penetrate more deeper into the food than any comparative to any other waves or frequency waves, and it's faster method with high efficiency. Like if you compare with many traditional methods, even if we talk about the drying also, like we have still some places, especially in India, where we go for sun drying methods. So it's even faster with high efficiency, and it helps in preserving the biochemical compounds of the challenge to preserve the food nutrients which is naturally present in the food. So adapting such methods, I believe that we can still preserve the food nutrients and have the food in its natural form. And preserving of rice bran. Now talking about this, like India is not a country which is very popularized with the use of rice bran. Rice bran is considered as a byproduct after the milling of rice. So the rice bran is always fed to the animals as feed. So it's not considered a food that we always take in for consumption. But having said that, we all know the truth that preserving of rice bran makes the rice more nutritious and more healthier to eat. And also this way, as in radio frequency blanching, also protects the product or the rice from pests and diseases as well. So this is the inference that I could make from the whole experiment. If I have to brief it, so this would be the few points that I've made. So this is basically the steps that we followed. The earlier steps is already explained by the previous presenters. So we measured amount of powdered rice, and then we gave the powdered rice under the radio frequency waves, and the subsequent time intervals we checked the temperature and the weight, and the temperature kept increasing, and at the end when we got desirable temperature, we checked the internal temperature as well. So that is the few steps that I have to show about the experiment that I conducted. And so talking about India, we don't have blanching, which is very common for rice. Blanching goes for vegetables more commonly in our country. So we don't have much blanching of rice bran, especially rice bran. As I said, we don't have much use of rice bran. It's always considered as a waste or byproduct. So we don't have that much. But what I could interfere from this experiment is that the main model is to lock the nutrients, the natural nutrients present in the rice. So thinking about that, I thought about what all products we already have in our country which has the nutrients, which focus more on the nutrients of the rice. So one of the main very famous rice produced in our country is basmati rice, which lacks vitamin A, and it is, if you can see the picture, it's very long, which is non-sticky, and we have very famous delicacy cuisine of Indian cuisine, which is biryani. So this is the rice which is used in the biryanis, and on the other hand, you can see some of the marketed products, that is which are famous brands, India Gate and Dawat, which are in the Indian market. And also brown rice is not that popularized, but yeah, now that our generation are more focusing on the health consciousness, so brown rice is also coming into the market, and there is a marketed product in our country. And yeah, so if I have to talk about the treatments that we would give to the rice, parboiling is one such method which is also not that popularized in many parts of the country, but still it's practiced in our country. So parboiled rice is also a part of our Indian market. So there's also a commercial product released, as in what I talked, the basmati rice is also released as parboiled also. And even if you can see the picture, I don't know how much clear it is, but the upper one, it is extra long basmati rice. So even in the basmati rice itself, we are having different varieties depending on the customer's need and their taste preferences. So yeah, as I said, there's no much rice bran products, but yeah, rice bran oil is coming to be very popularized in our country, because some customers are diverting their view from the vegetables oil that we use, the saturated or unsaturated vegetable oil that we use, and going to the healthier version, that is rice bran oil. So many people are taking it as a substitute for vegetable oil. And one such product that came to my side is also very new for me as well, is rice bran powder, so which is also consumed and is made in India. So that's a marketed product. So these are various kind of marketed products. These all are different brands. The first one have been Dhara, Fortune, and Patanjali, Kama, are giving rice bananas. So that is about brief about the radio frequency pricing. So my topic also included to share our experience to the visit to Anglo Museum. The museum is a place where we talk about the importance of conserving seafood and the seafood processed products in their natural form, conserving their nutrients as well. So the company was started in 24 May 2016. So what the highlight of the company was that in many, not only Anglo Museum, I have seen in many other companies also, like they focus a lot in the conserving their environment and keeping an eco-friendly state. So many industries, even in our country also, and all over the world, what I notice is that they don't completely focus on the environment. They just focus on their product and the market and the profit that they earn from us. But we have reached to the point of our environment that it is degrading in a way that there's not much that we can give to the next generation. So it's high time that we talk about that as well. So that's something that I want to highlight. The company focuses so much on conserving the environment and also using the sustainable energy that is available for the company. So even in the infrastructure also, they have rhombus-shaped roof, solar panels for energy extraction. So the motto of the company is fresh food, high tech and fun. So everything is coming together. They are giving the fun to enjoy also. We will see it in the subsequent slides as well. So the highlight of what makes it different from the other seafood companies is that they preserve the food with a very important system called cells active system, in which they give the seafood treatment of a shorter period freezing time, so that they are preserved in its natural fresh form, and the nutrients are also low. So, and also we can store it for a long time as well. So this is a very new system, cells active system, that this company has introduced. So this is the interactive sections with the team that we had. On the left hand side topmost, if I have to say, they are explaining about the cells active system, what is the main part of their production. And the second is the interactive sessions. What their motto is fun, right? So the rest three is the fun, but also fun in a way that they can provide us knowledge. So there are parts where there's a fishing pool and all, if you fish and you put that fish into a monitor, they give us information about what kind of fish it is, what components it has, what nutrients it can give us. So it's very informative and fun and everything in one, like just in a one way. So yeah, that's about the visit. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pinto, and I'm going to give a report on microwave combined heating for human rights. Microwave combined induction heating (MCI) is a novel heating technology that combines microwave heating in the upper section and induction heating at the bottom side. As we have seen in the diagram, number one is giving the numbers in the diagram. Number one is microwave heating rate, which is Z in the upper section, and second is waveguide, and three microwave half cavity body, microwave half cavity cover, induction half cavity, revolving table returnable, gears, rotating motor, induction heating unit, which I said is in the lower side, and induction heating power controller, and induction half cavity upper cover, and sealing CVD container, and induction half cavity body. We have these components in the MCIH machine, and here is the real thing. And the upper part is the microwave unit, and the lower part is the induction unit. In MCIH, as it is combined, the microwave heating, the radiation which are having a high frequency are penetrating inside the foods, and which are giving a friction among the water molecules which are contained inside the the thermal heat, the thermal energy are penetrated inside the foods only through the surface. So these foods are combined together, and we are generating the microwave combined induction heating, which is very essential. And here, what we have done on the practical for cooking the parboiled rice, we are doing the experiment on cooking parboiled rice. And first, we measure the parboiled rice in a plastic plate, and we measure the wet rice water absorption, and we measure the wet rice weight under details. And we measure the water weight also, and we did the pre-packaging of the parboiled rice with a sealing machine, and we put inside the microwaves. And MCA is so many advantages, and here are only some of the advantages. Firstly, we use both microwave and induction techniques for cooking, and secondly, it is less time consuming. It doesn't take much time for cooking, and it serves as a viable future alternative for thermal processing of manufacturing refrigerated, ready-to-eat foods. It is very convenient. And uniformly heated and fully cooked. The foods that we cooked are uniformly heated and fully cooked, and the foods that we have cooked the color and the texture of that product will be better than microwave alone or convection heating alone. And here, the Indian dishes that we can cook for microwave combined induction heating. First is dal. We can simply add all the ingredients like masalas in the microwave safe dish, and we can cook for 10 minutes. And secondly is vegetable biryani. This is a common rice dishes, as my friend Kabir has previously mentioned. We use basmati rice for this, and it can be cooked by cooking the rice in microwave safe dish and for 5 to 7 minutes, or until the rice is half cooked. And we can add the vegetables and the spices and cook on high for 5 to 7 minutes until the vegetable is tender. Okay, that is samosa, which is also very common. It is savory pastries. We are filling the internal side with the potatoes, peas, and we can also add spices. And they can be cooked in MCIs by preheating the MCIs to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and place the samosa to microwave safe plate, and you can cook for 5 to 7 minutes. And last is idli. It is a steamed cakes, which can be made with rice and lentil butter, and they can be cooked in by placing the idli in a microwave safe dish, and you can add 1 second cup of water and cook on high for 10 to 12 minutes or until they are cooked through. That's all. Thank you.
And there is not much like scientific and things to mention here, but I will try my best to show it. T8, as we all know, it is typical this Chinese food, which is usually like pizza as a snack, and you can easily get it from the convenience store as well. And it is boiled egg, which is like cracked slightly, and which is boiled again in mixture of tea, sauce, and the spices, as like according to our preferences. And it has this savory taste where we can get the taste of the soy sauce and the mixture of the spices along with the subtle tea flavor. So here it's like it is also very useful, I guess, to make it a little like less boring, almost just a simple boiled eggs. Coming to the soybean products, here we have tofu, which is very popular here, and the first one is the dono. This is the one in the spoon is the soybean, and the tofu, the koala, and this
Here we have soy sauce and soy milk. Some of the products that I got from the pictures from the Google, and here we have soy milk. Here, this soy milk is also known as Tao Chia. I don't know if the pronunciation is correct or not. And we can get in two forms, the sweet one and the salty one based on our preferences. Next, like a little highlight about some of the popular soybean products in India. The first one is soya chunks. It is the byproduct left after extracting the soybean oil, and it has a rough texture. When it has a rough texture in the package. The one in the upper plate wall is the low foam, and then before eating we have to cook it, or we have to like dip it in hot water so that it will be edible. And then this soybean oil, it is extracted. It is a vegetable oil extracted from the seed of the soybean. There are a lot of products. It is one of the most popular and commonly used oil in India. And the next, this is, I think every one of us will enjoy this. This is a fermented soybean product, which is called as akuli. It is usually traditionally made with the banana leaves, and it is fermented, and it has this distinct flavor and smell. So we can also say that it is an ethnic probiotic, which can be like very, I don't know, it gives a very special taste when you eat it with rice. Some of the memories, like while visiting the candy food factory. Here we have the first, this one, the second pictures from the right side. We have where they sweetens the candy, the fruits, and then here we have the drying. Here they did the drying process, and then here they did the packaging. And these are some of the pictures from the museum, and they have the cafeteria as well.
I'm Chinda Pindra from Central Agricultural University, currently pursuing PhD in computer science. I'm going to talk about the solid state fermentation that we did for monkey mushroom, commonly known as Ionotrition perineus, that is commonly known as monkey mushroom, and the processing parts of it using RF drying and pasteurization. These are the outline. This is the outline of my presentation. I'll be introducing the fungal component a little bit, and then I'll be talking about the fermentation process, like the type of fermentation process that we use, that is solid state fermentation, and I'll give you a brief introduction on the procedure, and I'll talk about the results, and I'll just conclude it. Moving forward, so this is the fungal component, or the fungus that we use. It's commonly known as monkey mushroom. So the reason that we use this fungus is because it has a very high nutritional. It is very high. It is highly nutritive, and it's considered a superfood, and it has a lot of benefits. For example, it's got beneficial characteristics, like it's antimicrobial, and it has it is antimicrobial, it's anti-inflammatory, anti-septic, and anti-carcinogenic as well. So these are some of the important nutritional facts that is associated with this fungus. So we used it, and then moving forward, for the fermentation process, we use the solid state fermentation. So here, we basically, it means that we are growing the microorganisms on a moist particle of a particular solid material, that is the medium that we use, which was brown rice. And particles are filled with the continuous gas phase. So the reason why we used brown rice was because it's a bit non-sticky. So in comparison to white rice or polished rice, which is also known as sticky rice, since the rice being sticky, so it doesn't have the gaps in it where the fungus can spread out and grow evenly. So the reason why we use brown rice is that. And moving forward, talking about the procedure, first and foremost, we used the brown rice, we washed it and then we dried it in the radio frequency unit. And then after that, we put it in a bag and then we took it to the office lab for like 40 minutes or so. And then in order to sterilize it so that we avoid contamination when we are introducing the fungal samples, okay? And moving forward, we went to another lab and then we introduced the fungal samples, about 10 ml. We prepared like 5 ml each, 2 times, and we put it in the sample. And then after that, we kept it in the incubator, I guess, for like almost the whole process took about 4 weeks, like almost 4 weeks. So these are the after we took it from the incubator, the fungal body had already spread and grown evenly. So there was one, I guess we had 12 samples. Out of them, one of them, which was mine, got contaminated, but I didn't take the picture, but yeah. And moving forward, after that, since we got the sample that the fungal body has really grown, we took it out of the incubator and then we started processing it. So this is the process after that. And first of all, we weighed it and then we took the sample out of the bag and then we even spread it into a basket and then we had to weigh it again, as seen in the picture. And the next thing, we checked the temperature and then we put it in the RF to pasteurize it, to dry it. And then these are the process that we conducted, these are the steps that we conducted yesterday. And yeah, we had to do it about for 10 minutes. And yeah, so after drying the fungal, the body, I mean the sample, we had to dry it in the RF unit, and then after taking out of there, we had to process it into a powder form so that we can use it or we can eat it. So this is the process. That's the picture that I included. And the third picture, that is the final product that we got, that is the powder form, which can be utilized as a superfood, you can use it as a supplement. You can add it in your food and it tastes good too. So as results, I have kept like a series of pictures that shows the gradual growth of the fungal body in the medium. So the first week it is quite brown, it's still the brown rice, and I think we hadn't introduced the sample yet. And then from then onwards, we can see the gradual growth of the fungal body in the medium. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning to one and all. My name is Premi Chan Solom, and I'm currently pursuing my PhD in agriculture in College of Agriculture, Kudekla, under Central Agricultural University. So I'll be presenting my achievement report today and on the topic of floor application. So as we have learned during the training program, the Taiwanese food production that's on the floor, I would like to share some of our Indian food products which are on the floor. So we start with chapati. Chapati it is traditional with flatbread, which is a very important Indian diet, especially in the northern and southern parts of India. And naan is also a soft flatbread made with the process in the oven bag, in the oven oven bag. then next is samosa. Like samosa is like a fried pastry, like with fillings inside with spices, potatoes, and other seasonings. And moving on, like vada pav. Like vada pav, like it is very like famous like snakes, Indian snakes, and it is like a fluffy bun stuffed with potatoes and other seasonings. It is from and then kulcha, like it is also an Indian flatbread and then made from the refined wheat flour. Like we Indians, like we mostly use like wheat flour, like as compared to the rice flour. So these are like almost all the products are from wheat flour. And pakora, like is also one of our like favorite like Indian snacks. And then it is made from the ground flour like rice. And then along with some veggies. And then I would like to share like some like products like from my own state, Manipur. Paknam like is steamed sandwich, like which is like very authentic and like favorite foods like of all the Manipuri. And then like it is served along with seasonal herbs and other veggies. And Kapching Bora, this is the fritters made from the rice flour. And then it is specific like to the place Kapching of Manipur. And then coming to the desserts like laddu, like it's like in every Indian's like special and then the favorite dessert. It is spherical desserts like made from the ground flour. And jalebi, this is also like Indian dessert, favorite Indian dessert. And then these are made from like all-purpose flour or like ground flour fermented for like several hours and then cooked. And then I would like to share like some of the like photos like that we have like done during our training program. We have done a lot preparation of like different Taiwanese food products made from flour. Like we prepared mantou, bread, and scallion pancakes and dumplings, and then we enjoyed a lot. And then before I conclude my slides, I would like to thank our Ma'am Sudarshan for like guiding us throughout the training program and to like all our brothers and sisters to help for helping us out a lot during the training program. Thank you.
这两桌都可以做。
And novelty and some I'm also going to add some Indian products that are say the corn and some of the cassava, what are the products there in India, and also our visit to one of the Kili Bay Pearl Mill Tea Cultural Center. So moving on to my topic. We had two classes on preparation of this popcorn. It's prepared from corn. So when this corn seeds of 14 to 13% moisture contained is been subjugated to a temperature, we get this popcorn. So we did two methods. One was through stove and one is through microwave heating. So when we put this corn sticks of 14 to 20% moisture contained in the stove of medium heat for 5 minutes, we get this popcorn. And the other one we did is when it's subjugated to more than 100 degrees Celsius for 2 to 4 minutes, we got this popcorn. So it's in our class we had this popcorn and we enjoyed it. It tastes good. And so these are some of the products of this corn products that we have in India. So India produces about 31 million metric tons per year of corn. So it's the seventh in the world to produce corn. So there will be many products of corn products in India. So these are some of the products. This is the flour. Then these corn flakes are very famous in India. So like basically when you wake up early in the morning and then you will be like, give me breakfast, and your mother will give you milk, and then you will put your corn flakes and then you will eat it with it. So it's like very famous in India. Then cornbread, then oil. Then we have sweet corn. So sweet corn is also famous. We ate it in some of the soups and all, and then we eat it with it. Then the baby corn. So baby corn, we all know that is obtained from the unfertilized corn. So this is also famous. We put it in curries and all to add it, and then this is it. And then the corn syrup and this corn is also used as an animal feed in India. So moving on to bubble tea. So bubble tea is quite popular now even in Taiwan and in the world. Like everyone is hyping for bubble tea right now. So bubble tea, it has been there since for more than a century. It has been there. So it was very it was very fortunate for us to come here and to learn how to make this bubble tea. So we had a class on that, and so these are the photos that we took while we were preparing the bubble tea. So we we roll this thing, and then we got the bubbles, and then this is the bearing. This is the last one is what we got, the bubble tea, and then there's cassava in India. We also consume cassava in India. So it's about 3 million metric tons it's been produced. So as comparing to the maize, it's not quite popular in India, but we do have some products of this cassava in India. So the cassava flour and this sabudana, so it's quite so famous in India. So there is specific time in India where the woman would fast, go for a fasting period, and then they will consume the food after the moon comes out. It represents praying for their fortune, for their husband. So this sabudana, it can be prepared by the two that I put it there. So one is the kheer. So kheer is quite famous in India too. So you put it with milk and then you add the cassava. Then this is how we eat. And the other one is the khichdi. So you just add beans, peanut beans a bit, and then some chilies, and then you eat it together. So why we eat it after we finish our fasting is that, so it has high carbohydrate contained in this budana. So less of protein content. So when you consume it, you get high energy. So after you're fasting and you get it, it's good food. So we consume it after that. Then we have some curries made out of it, the cassava and the papad. Papad is also famous in India. When you go to any Indian places and all, you will be served with papad. So we make papad from cassava too. Then we have the chips, which we consume. And lastly, but not the least, we boil the cassava and then we prepare a chutney out of it. So we add any garlic, onion or chilies, and then we make a chutney and then we eat it with it. So it's quite famous too. Then our visit to the Kilibei Pearl Milk Tea Center. So we had a visit there to look into what is happening in this company, which supplies about 300 tons of bubble milk tea a day. So it's quite famous. And then we visited there, and this is how we took a photo of it, and we even drank this bubble tea with some cookies. The cookies was quite good too. So yeah, we enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable trip, and we also learned that they are planning to extend more of the area and convert it into a visitor center too. So it's quite a good experience. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone presented here. So I hope everyone is doing well, and ni hao and namaste. So I won't take so much long. I will just finish in short descriptions that I have learned during food science class by the guidance of Ma'am Sudarshan. And I'm basically from Central Agriculture University, and I came here for foreign training program. And I learned so many things from here, and I'm going to share. So I'm going to tell about some outlines that introductions, nutritional fact, RF roasting, peanut, and hot air oven roasting cashew, and also result. And it's all about how we will do roasting of peanuts and hot air oven roasting in radio frequency. So in introduction, I might say that peanut, which is also very important crops in India also, and as well as you can see in Taiwan also. And here I can show you that some product that used to be there in India, that is peanut, salted peanut, peanut butter, peanut wafer, or we can say peanut butter, and then groundnut oil. And then as well as cashew also in India, it's very important and very popular, and cashews used to be exported in other further countries. And as I know that from Ma'am that in Taiwan it's very expensive and it's very hard to find. So in India, like nearly 90% of world groundnut productions and 25.52% cashew productions is contributed by India as per as 2021 data. So here is something like cashew products that I have shown here, and that is raw cashews, roasted cashews, cashew cheese, butters, nuts, muesli, and cashew milks also. So here I'm going to talk about a brief introductions about the nutritional facts of peanut or cashew. You can see the peanut, it has cholesterol-free and low sodium, and it has excellent source of fatty acid. And we know as well as we know that nuts are a brain food, and I can say it has a great energy source. So everyone should take nuts for their healthy brain and healthy body. Even for cashew also has the same effect, and I have also shown here in how much calories, fibers, carbs, fats, and proteins here. So here is some memories we can say that I have learned during my training program. So in the first picture, it's radio frequency, where we used to try. As my fellow batchmate, or we can say my colleague, Ms. Kavya, she already mentioned about the radio frequency. Like it is very easy to try any kind of grains, and it is very easy to handle. It's not only about the storage also, but also it helps to protect grains from different pests and diseases. And here I have also shown that how we will do this kind of RF roasting that and I also mentioned about my data. So in this result, I can say that as my during my experiment time, I observed that if we roast peanut for longer duration of time, it emits a great aroma. Also, it gives the dark complexions, and it used to be thicker in nature. And also we have learned about the cashew roasting in hot air oven. And this is some memories that I have done during my training program. And then the result also, you can see that if we apply more heat, then the moisture will come out and it will be more crunchy and tasty. So there's the we can say importance of the hot air oven, which is actually not that much common in India, but yeah, I can say it's very easy process and it is very time saving also. So this is some memories that I can say. The memory is the diary that we all carry about with us, and yeah, I have some memories with my colleagues, my sir, my ma'am, and my friends. Although we are from different campus, and I will like to thank ma'am and sir and everyone, each and every one friend who have been a part of my training. Thank you. 谢谢。